Senator, now we know that Michael Horowitz's report on FISA abuse is in the hands of William Barr.
Right.
When do you expect the public will see it? What are you expecting in terms of wrongdoing here?
Well, number one, I think it'll probably be around October. My number one goal is to declassify as much as possible so you can see what really happened. The applications for the warrant, I want those declassified. All the conversations about you shouldn't trust Steele that was given to the Department of Justice and the FBI, I want them to come out so the public can see that the Department of Justice and the FBI were on notice that Christopher Steele was an unreliable person, really hated Trump, had a political bias. Also, I want you to see, to the extent the dossier has been verified, it hasn't been verified to this day. Then we'll ask questions. How could the court issue a warrant based on a political document unverified to this day? And what happens to the people who mislead the court? The FISA court is an important court, but if the court doesn't take this seriously, then the question for me, who will? What do you do to cops who mislead a court, that takes information that's unverified and coming from a politically biased person, and you spend no effort to verify it, and you use it for a warrant 4 times? If somebody's not punished here, then there'll be no deterrence, and it will happen again and again and again.
Well, there was a good op-ed from Kim Strassel in the Wall Street Journal this past week. Mr. Horowitz speaks, never mind Nadler's impeachment circus. The real action was at a Wednesday hearing when a House Oversight Subcommittee spoke to Michael Horowitz. Here we are talking about Michael Horowitz for 2 years, waiting for all of his reports to come out, and yet nobody covers Horowitz when he's actually testifying in front of this Oversight Subcommittee. So will there be accountability, I guess, is what our viewers want to know.
If you're looking for the American media to call it fair when it comes to Trump, you're looking in the wrong place. McCabe is one of the architects of the warrant, and he's a contributor for CNN.
Right.
The guy is facing criminal charges. He was one of the guys who was the architect of the counterintelligence investigation and the FISA warrant application, and he's on TV supposedly being a fair, neutral observer about the Department of Justice. When it comes to Trump, everything's upside down, but I can promise you this. As chairman of the Judiciary Committee in the Senate, Mr. Horowitz will come before the country for as long as necessary under oath and tell us every detail about what he found.
Once you get the Horowitz report, would you also call Michael Horowitz to speak in front of your committee?
Absolutely. I want to explain what he did and how he did it. I want to declassify all the information possible to let you see what went into his report. Then I'll start calling people. This is a big deal. If a court was fed bad information by bad cops, Department of Justice, who had a political agenda to get a warrant against an American citizen, and we do nothing about it, we're encouraging the breakdown of the rule of law. So somebody needs to be punished for misleading the court, lying to the court. The counterintelligence investigation, why did they not tell President Trump they had concerns about people on his campaign working with Russia? The point of a counterintelligence investigation is to protect the target of the foreign influence. They told Dianne Feinstein, the FBI did, that a Chinese employee of hers may be working with the Chinese government, and she fired him. They never warned this president. I think they were misusing the counterintelligence investigation. And did Obama know? Yeah. Did the President of the United States know that the FBI and the Department of Justice were investigating the Republican nominee for president? And if he did, what did he do about it?
Yeah, there's all questions around that because, by the way, every time I ask anybody who was the architect of this, they point to the CIA. So I'm just wondering, running the CIA.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Let me end our interview on where we began, because you made some breaking news a minute ago. You are calling for a probe by the DOJ into all things Ukraine.
Yeah, I want the Department of Justice to appoint somebody to look at the role the Ukraine played, if any, in the 2016 elections. There are a lot of allegations out there how the Ukraine fed information, maybe to the Democrats, Department of Justice, against Trump campaign managers and others. And I think it's fair, after what the Trumps have gone through regarding Russia, that somebody look at the connection of the Bidens, while the vice president was a sitting vice president, the Biden connection to the Ukraine through his son. Now, you can't have it one way. You can't look at one family and not the other. And I don't trust the media to do this. I'm hoping somebody at the Department of Justice will appoint an investigator to look at all things Ukraine, like we looked at all things Russia.
Now, by the way, before you go, Iran, you and the president had a back and forth. You were on Twitter.
Yeah.
He said, no, this is what the way we reacted showed strength.
Yeah, so let me talk about that. When the president decided not to attack based on Iran shooting our drone down, I actually supported that because he believed that if I hit a radar site and kill 150 Iranians, it's going to put the Ayatollah in a spot where he has to react. And we're talking about a drone, an unmanned drone. I thought that was a level of restraint that I respected. The problem is the Iranians took it differently. I think President Trump's been strong on China, strong on ISIS, strong on North Korea, strong on Iran, but the Iranians are acting out in a very dangerous way. By attacking the Saudi Arabian oil field, they have attacked the world economy. It is in our national security interest to protect Mideast energy supplies, even though we're less dependent. It is in our national security interest to protect the navigation of the seas. And this is a rogue regime. These people have a religious mission that's going to throw the Mideast into uproar and open up Pandora's box if we don't act. So clearly the restraint shown regarding the drone did not deter. Deterrence has been lost. What would restore deterrence? Due to Iran now, what Reagan did to them in the 80s when they acted up, you will restore deterrence, Mr. President. They will not get in an all-out war with the United States because that will be the end of their regime. So now's the time to send a signal to Iran that's unmistakable and reset the world before it's too late.
All right, we're going to have to hear some conclusion of this fairly soon. President has to make a decision soon.
Well, Reagan waited a couple of weeks. And building a coalition is a good thing. Taking the case to the UN is a good thing. Making sure everybody knows it was the Iranians. But when this is said and done, they can't be confused about who you are and who we are, Mr. President.
All right, Senator, it's good to have you. Thank you so much.